Eliza Oakes is with me. I'm super happy. Solo artist, member of Idrîsî Ensemble, member of Jordana Rakeia touring band. Also, hi Eliza.
Hi.
We meet here because what happened in the summer at Saltwave Festival. I was listening to the Jordana Rakeia concert with my friend, and we started to listening to Jordana Rakeia, but also to this girl playing the keys and singing. And then I have done some research and I saw how versatile artist you are, and I decided that I want to get to know this musical brain and soul, and I'm very happy that I have this opportunity today. So first question about Jordana Rakeia band: how it happened that you are playing with Jordana Rakeia? Is it band created from scratch for tour promoting the loop?
Yeah, so I'm the newest to the band. So I met Jordan actually this time last year. So it's crazy to think how much has happened this year. He was looking for a soprano voice that could also play some additional keys and sort of synths within the band. I was recommended by a really good friend of mine and another amazing artist and vocalist, Frida Tori. She'd previously worked with him. Yeah, he got in touch. I heard the album. Loved the album. It's very, very vocal heavy. There's a lot of great like vocal arrangements on it, backing vocal arrangements, sort of more choir arrangements that I really sort of wanted to sink my teeth into in that live setting. And yeah, we met up. When I met him, I talked actually about Idrîsî Ensemble, which we'll get onto later. I talked about the medieval music that I was studying for about 45 minutes before we talked about the tour, and really, really clicked. And so it sort of kicked off from there. That's how I got into it. I'm the youngest member of the band and the newest member of the band. Some of the other players in the band, like Jim McRae, Ernesto Marichalis, the drummer and percussionist, they've been with Jordan for about 10 years, ever since sort of he started his career. And then Imran Pellica, also known as Street Rat, he is a Kiwi as well, so knew Jordan before Jordan moved to London. So yeah, so it's been a real, he's really sort of curated that sound and really honed the live sound with these incredible musicians and instrumentalists for a really long time. So I've just come into that setting for the first time this year.
And tell me, please, like, has Jordan approached you with some already prepared arrangements, or were they created somehow together by you during the rehearsals?
They're created together, really. There's no separate musical director in the band. It really sort of comes from Jordan and his vision, and then us all in the room, we all sort of contribute and make suggestions, and we all kind of finalize the arrangements ourselves, which is a really special experience. And I think we've all got very individual and unique, vast, separate individual musical upbringings and influences and expertise. And so we all sort of can bring something to that setting when it comes to musical directing and arranging. I was really on board with figuring out bringing sort of these vocals from the record, these heavy vocals from the record, into this setup that we have, which is a 6-piece band for touring. For the other UK festivals and the Royal Albert Hall shows, we had an additional 3 backing vocalists, as well as horns, as well as strings for the Royal Albert Hall show. So just a real, eclectic mix of musicians and minds, which makes it really refreshing.
You already said that your band was kind of a democratic one, I would say, because I think there are two kinds of bands: autocratic ones and democratic ones, and yours was democratic. From what you said, how it felt to work with Jordan, because he's a very, I would say, multi-talented, versatile artist.
Yeah, incredibly, multi-instrumentalist, very, very multi-talented, but has a really, really calm approach to his music and his music making, and therefore the live shows. Like I've never felt stressed in a rehearsal ever. Sometimes we've been tight for time and had one rehearsal to put a show together, but that's good. That's good. It's really, really good for the mind. And so he's just incredibly supportive and very, very funny. He's become such a good friend, as we all, when you tour with people, you become so close. So yeah, it's an absolute privilege working with him, and it's been my first year of touring internationally. I've done 1 or 2 sort of UK tours before, but never sort of heavy touring like this for weeks on end. And also, I'm a vocalist first and foremost, sort of being patient with my keys playing and figuring out sort of a different setup, doing keys as well as vocals, as well as some percussion, like here and there for some of the songs. So it's been really, really exciting.
Tell me about your favorite moments of your live set and how your live set looked like and varied in different cities. Because my favorite moments of your live set was definitely this beautiful vocal duo of you and Jordan in "Learning," which is, by the way, a really magnificent song. Also, what were your highlights and favorite moments of your live set?
What's really great touring is we often will change the set each night. Sometimes we won't do it's not exactly the same every time. So that sort of keeps you on your toes. As a live musician, we've got parts of the show where each of us instrumentalists have a solo section of like improvisation. So that's extremely exciting every night, not only for myself to, not have anything, not have planned what's gonna come out, but also to hear my peers every night explore and express differently for each show it's definitely my favorite part. Jordan is just such a beautiful vocalist, and I love his song. I love when he sings Eye to Eye. I love just sort of hearing what he makes of his own music and what he does differently every night. So I love the ballads, but then I also love the more upbeat things. But yeah, there's so much to enjoy. There's not a favorite part as such.
Finishing this segment of our interview concerning Jordan Rakei's band, I want to ask you about, the whole experience of touring, because as you said, it was something new for you. So big world tour, because in the summer you were in Europe, and now in the autumn I saw your stories from Australia, from Cape Town, from Tokyo. So it's really all around the world. How it felt to tour the world, and which places were your favorites?
It's been absolutely amazing. It's very interesting to be constantly
But it
moving.
has to be tiring, I can also imagine.
It is, it can be tiring. It can be quite demanding mentally and physically. But I think it's really all about the people that you're touring with. And we have such an amazing crew, not only the instrumentalists, but our tour manager, our sound engineer, our in monitor engineer. Everyone is just such like a crucial part of the tour. It's just an extremely healthy, beautiful environment. So it makes touring like, easy in a lot of ways. Yes, it's hard because, you're also, doing shows every night, but I think there's a lot of Europe that I'd not seen. I'd never been to Germany before.
Poland? What was your first time to Poland?
It was our first time to Poland, yeah. It was our first time to Poland, but that was for a festival, so it was a really, really short trip. So I didn't get to sort of see much of Poland.
And that's a pity because you played in a really beautiful place like hell.
It was a beautiful place. Yeah, it was absolutely stunning. It was a real treat to be there for such a short space of time. And I think that's what I love about tour as well, because you just get these short glimpses of these incredible places.
But you had like enough time to also do some exploring apart from playing, because I can imagine that during the tour you have rehearsals, you have concert shows and so on. There's not much time left, but have you managed to have some spare time also for yourself?
Yeah, we have days off like here and there, and I think when we arrive at City, usually we've got the morning to explore, and then we'll be in for sound check and load in. But I'd never been to Sweden before. I loved Copenhagen. There was just a bunch of like places in Europe that I'd not been before. And then we toured America. We then did Japan and South Africa. So we're doing Australia and New Zealand in February, which would be really exciting because I've also never been there. I'd never been to Japan before. I'd never been on the west coast of America before. So you're constantly, it's overwhelming at times because you are meeting this standard of performance every night whilst also being totally, sometimes really overstimulated with just new environments all the time, environments where you're also in a different time zone. Your body clock's in a different time zone. You're in a different climate. So we went from, Montreal, which was like pretty chilly, to Cape Town, which was 30 degrees. So there's so much going on all the time, but I absolutely love it. I've learned so much this year, so much from the musicians around me, so much from traveling, and so much more about my own instrument and my own voice within these environments that can be sort of really mentally demanding and physically demanding, because just how much you're moving all the time. Interesting how my voice has sort of adapted to that and adapted to that pressure. And I think also on the tour I was able to, there was one or two occasions where I got to open the show as well with my own music and my own set, which was a real treat. So it's like going between the session musician and being a part of his band to also having to focus on my own things on occasion was also really interesting and special.
It's great to hear like Jordan giving space to you to play your music solo. I think it's also something that shows him in very good light, that he sees space for his musicians to also perform solo. And I'm very happy that you have mentioned it, that you have mentioned your solo songs, because this is the next topic that I would like to move to. Your solo recordings, you are also recording actively, regularly. You are releasing new music, but tell me about the start of everything. When and why have you decided to record your solo songs?
Good question. It's something I'm still really like discovering constantly. I have always sung all of my life. For my career, I've really wanted to have a balance of working as a vocalist and an instrumentalist in that way, and explore collaboration, explore performance, improvisation in that way, kind of solely as a vocalist. But then at the same time, I'm also honing my own artistry in writing and building a sonic identity, building a lyrical identity, a writing identity. And that I think takes like a lot of time. So it's something that I'm still discovering. You know, growing up in London, I'm just, surrounded by musicians that are kind of...
I think it's the best place, the best place in the world to record and learn music. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wicked place to be for music, and I'm really inspired by peers and friends that I've grown up with and new people that I'm meeting constantly. And so, yeah, so my solo project is here. It's also a work in progress. I'm really excited now that tour is finished for this year to continue writing and honing that sound and understanding more of what I want to say, especially after doing a lot of session stuff this year, which I'm extremely grateful for.
You mentioned your musical identity. Do you identify with some particular genre, or are there genres that you feel best in? Because I would have a problem if I would have to say what genre is Eliza Oakes solo music. I think it's not like 100% clear, definitely.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think I kind of want it to remain like that. I think my artistry is an exploration of this blend of classic songwriting, improvisation, and performance. And I think that's where there's still more to be discovered in knowing maybe where that sits in a stylistic space. But I think it's also important not to sort of not to define that all the time and just see where it takes you. But yeah, I think there's like classic songwriting there, as well as improvisation. It's a bit of Americana. It's a little bit of some jazz influence in there, soul influence, and rock influence, folk. It's kind of, yeah, a real mix, a nice melting pot, which is cool.
Elaborate, please, a bit on these influences. Maybe not talking about genres, but talking about some artists or albums or songs that were really influential for you.
I grew up on a lot of rock music. Grew up on a lot of U2, The Clash, Talking Heads, and then sort of discovered Joni Mitchell. I love Kate Bush. I love Freddie Mercury as an artist and as a vocalist. I think we don't talk about his vocals enough. I think that's often the way. I think a lot of rock singers don't get their shine as the vocalists that they are sometimes. Yeah, so much Aretha Franklin. I grew up in church, sort of in the early start to life. So there's a lot of gospel influence there, of like real mix.
process of recording and writing your solo songs, are they really, really solo in this sense that you are a kind of an artist that likes to do everything on your own, from the first note, first verse of the lyrics to the last decisions concerning production, or just the opposite, you like collaborating in some ways with other people and feel that other people kind of enrich your music and put it on another higher level?
A mixture of both. Everything that I've released so far has been written by myself, arranged by myself, and then there's a few co-writes on some of this music. I have to mention Lorenz Senghor, writer, producer. He has really helped bring my sound to life and sort of really assisted sort of in the co-production side. I'm a producer in the way of, I know how I want sonic space to sound, and I arrange the parts when it comes to, the strings and the horns, if it has that in the song. But sort of being at Logic in a technical way, that's where I really love working with Lorenz. I love his lens, I love his eyes. Ears? I mean ears. I love his ears. And I love his eyes as well. Mainly his ears when it comes to production. And there's someone else that I want to mention, which is Jess Camilleri, who's really been on board recently, the last year or two of music making for me. She's an incredible engineer, mix engineer, but also has co-produced on the latest song of mine, The Weight of the World. But when it comes to writing, it definitely sort of is predominantly, definitely all from me. And then I like to bring people in, and it's good. It's good to have a mix. It's good to have perspective. It's easy to be in your own head about things. It kind of takes some other people to be like, I'm not sure that entirely works. I think you need to step back a little and maybe think of it this way. Or yes, that I like that. If I'm doubtful about it, a melodic or harmonic idea, they could be like, no, that really works. Stick with it. So yeah, I think a mix of the both.
Before we end the solo segment of our interview, I would like to ask you about one particular song that you have released and that I was really interested about. And it's a song called Green Light, and especially this live version recorded at Abbey Road Studios. In recent months, you have been there twice because you have been there with Jordana Rakeia and recording this beautiful Abbey Road session with him. But you have also been there at Abbey Road Studios with your solo song. Tell me about the experience of recording there. It's a legendary studio, right? It's a place that every artist wants to find oneself in. I think especially artists that is growing in London. How it felt to work there, and how it happened really that you managed to record this version.
Yeah, it was a delight. Yeah, complete delight to be there. I had been there once or twice working with Jordan. We did a live album launch there. As well as some other recording there, which I can't think what is. But yeah, I've been there once or twice before, which was amazing. And I think through that, actually, meeting people that work there, an amazing engineer called Nia, who then offered this time slot and space to record something of my own. And so that's how that came about. It was great. It was really, really good. I think I'd released the produced version of that song, and I really wanted to do an acoustic version with my friend and pianist Jay Verma, and the opportunity came up. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. It was really chill in a lot of ways. It came about, super organically.
Okay, last questions about your solo career is obviously questions concerning the future. You have already released 7 singles, I think, 2 live versions, 1 cover also. You have mentioned Kate Bush, and Wuthering Heights was the song that you have covered. Would you like to maybe release solo long play album one day, or you concentrate rather on recording particular songs right now?
I think now I would love to work towards making a body of work, a project, an EP, about 4 or 5 songs would be wicked to work towards. I think I'd love to do a bigger body of work. But I think now just really focusing on developing the writing, the sonic identity, just leaning into honing that craft is really where I'm at. But it's been such a joy. I'm really proud of the work that I've released. Particularly, I think the most recent song that I released called The Weight of the World. That took a long time to finish, a long time to sort of piece together and craft how I wanted that to sound. And it's always a real privilege when people resonate with those themes. So we'll see what awaits for next year, but I'm really excited about it.
The last big topic that I want to ask you about, but really super interesting one, it's obviously Idrîsî Ensemble and medieval music. And let's start this segment the same way with which I have started this part concerning Jordana Rakeia. So how you got into medieval music, how your love for medieval music started, because it's not an easy kind of music. Like even many classical musicians, if you would ask people who are playing in symphonic orchestras, for example, many people don't like listening to early music. Really, it's not, as I said, easy kind of music. So how your love for this era, for this age of music started, and how you find yourself in Idrîsî Ensemble also.
I found myself in Idrîsî Ensemble through one of my best friends, an incredible artist in her own right, Elsa's. And she said to me one day, she was like, "Dude, I'm studying this medieval shit. I think you need to get involved. I think we're looking for more singers, and I think you need." Can I swear? Can I not swear?
In English, yeah, in Polish, you can swear in Polish. I will have to edit it after, but in English,
Okay,
no
cool.
problem.
She was like, "I'm doing this medieval thing, like I'm studying medieval music with this incredible educator and director. I think you need to get involved." So so it was a really, really new ensemble at the time, led by Thomasa Fournila, who sort of has led so much of this a research project in a lot of ways, and then now a performing ensemble. I joined through her, and then I knew other people sort of in the ensemble as well, because a lot of us went to Guildhall School of Music, which is a conservatoire here in London. So sort of, yeah, connected through that.
Wait for a moment. What have you studied at the conservatory?
I studied jazz vocal.
So it's not connected with early music.
No, not connected with early music, but people within the ensemble, it was kind of a common thread, was just the place that we were studying at the time. So that's how I got into it, and that was about 3 years ago, two or 3 years ago. Yeah, it's gone from there really. Never recorded music. A lot of it has been sort of forgotten or lost. Really sacred traditions that need reviving, and need reviving for female voices. A lot of this music was, women weren't allowed to sing. It was only sung by men. So it's kind of a really revival of sorts, and now being championed by Thomasa Fournila and rearranged for female voices, as well as a larger ensemble. It's really, really special to be a part of, and I told Jordan about it when I met him, and then a year later he invited us to sing an interlude at the Royal Albert Hall, his Royal Albert Hall shows, which was such a privilege and such a 360 moment.
Okay. Like you just started a topic that I wanted to ask a few questions later, but show in Royal Albert Hall, because it's super interesting, super fascinating how it looked like, this interlude of Jordana Rakeia show, and how it happened, really, because it's super interesting. It's super cool.
He wanted to have us be part of the show. There is a moment out of a song of his called Flowers, where I take improvised solo. And so we thought that would be the best place for it to weave into Idrîsî Ensemble. It was 5 of us that sang Corsican pagella, which is a type of Corsican polyphony, written by Thomasa Fournila.
So it's not kind of authentic music found somewhere at Corsica. It's written by your musical director, inspired by overall style.
Yeah, based upon this type of polyphony. So that's how it happened, really. So it took it took some workshopping. Me, Toma, and Jordan really spoke about which piece that should be, whether to have the whole ensemble, whether to have a smaller group of people that's just going to work within that show. The first time we did it at Royal Albert Hall was the first time we did it fully. We didn't have like this a huge amount of time to rehearse it and weave it into the show. So it was really, special.
But was it Singing in Idrîsî Ensemble, was it the start of your adventure with medieval music, or you had some experiences before it with this kind of music?
Yeah, it is my first experience with medieval music. I've growing up, I studied classical music and musical theatre, and I've done a lot of gospel music over the years, a whole range of different styles, but nothing as old as 4th to 14th century music.
Okay, but was it hard for you to got into this kind of singing? Because, you know, it's not kind of music that you can hear and simply repeat. Like there is really huge know-how behind these performances that you have to learn how to read this kind of music, how to sing, because it's completely different singing technique. I guess you have also to learn about the languages in which it is written, and you sing in many old languages that even don't exist right now, right?
Definitely. It has been a really thorough, sometimes really hard process to learn this music. We sing in Latin, Greek, Corsican, we sing in Occitan, which is Old French, we've sung in Gaelic. The style of singing as well is extremely specific, particularly Old Roman chant. The ornamentations are really specific, there's like no vibrato really. There's a real power in the more Corsican style, and I'm the terzo, which is the top voice. That's a really sort of belt range. It's been incredible, like learning and starting from scratch in a lot of ways to learn how this music is sung, but then over time honor my own tone, my own singing voice, and weave it in so that it feels very much like me, but you've just adopted and been like marinated in this different style of singing. So even amongst all the music we study, some of it is really different from each other.
Tell me about your residency at Corsica. Tell me about this experience, this place, how much it meant for you to study this kind of music in this particular place and environment. Because, like, your recordings from these Corsican churches or from Corsican mountains are like from another planet. It's simply incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, it was amazing. A group of us did a residency in Pina, which is the northern part of Corsica. It was incredible being in that space outside of London. You know, we were singing the music that was birthed there and means so much still as a music tradition there. It was incredible being around the Corsican people that were working there and them also singing with us. I think it was really important for us to be there, learn with each other there, and also be in nature there, and then have at the end of a residency do a concert. It was, yeah, really, really cherished time.
You mentioned that you got out of London because people singing in Idrîsî Ensemble are mostly from London. Because when I was looking at your website, I saw surnames and names and faces from many, many different cultures. I know that in London live people of many different cultures, but are these people mostly from London?
We're all based in London at the minute. It's a real diverse range of people in Idrîsî. A lot of incredible Greek singers in Idrîsî, Catalan, French, Swiss.
So you have also people that come from places where these songs were born, right?
Yeah, I mean the Greek singers singing the traditional Greek music. It's like sacred. It just has to be. You know, it has to be. Yeah, I learned so much from them. So a really diverse range of people, which what makes it so special because we're just learning this music of all of our ancestors from Europe, from this part of the world. So it's all within us somewhere.
I have asked you concerning your solo career this question about the genre. With which genre do you identify? And I really like your answer that you don't identify in 100% with any of them. And I have a feeling that all the best music right now is somehow evolving, somehow moving between different genres. And we are not living in the era of some clear genres. We are living in the era of being trans genre. But I would like to ask you same question concerning medieval music in some way, because in Idrîsî Ensemble you are also very versatile vocalists because you sing old Roman chants, troubadour songs, medieval motets, polyphony, traditional Greek music. I'm only speaking about the things that are released. I guess that you have also some different things that were maybe not recorded or haven't been released. And among these different kinds of medieval early music, do you have one particular kind that you feel the best with, that you like the most to sing?
Definitely Corsican music. Definitely. the range that it's in for me really sits well with my voice. I love expressing my voice in that setting. And I think I love the harmonies, I love the polyphonies, I love the style of singing that it is. Definitely the Corsican traditional music I adore. But I also love the old Roman chant. I love the chants that we do. I love droning. So good for the voice, just droning and being really, really focused on tuning as an ensemble. It takes a lot of listening. It's not, we're all just creating this like wall of deep, deep sound. And we're all just vessels for this centuries worth of forgotten music that is so beautiful and so special. And we're just transcending that forgotten grief and love. The music of like the troubadours, music of the troubadours, which are the female troubadours, and this is from the region of Occitania, which is sort of old France, sort of 11th, 12th, 13th centuries. They were sort of some of the first love songs, some of the first sort of pop songs, we would maybe say.
It's not a very common thing to meet person who plays and sings so different kinds of music. So this is the reason also why I was surprised when I learned that you, apart from playing with Jordan, you have your solo career and you also have this early music part of your career. And is it something natural for you to switch between so different styles? Is it maybe even refreshing because you can change completely the musical world?
Yeah, it's really amazing. I went from studying this ancient music in Pina Corsica and literally flew to do Jules Holland with Jordana Rakeia. That's pop music. It's like such a range. Now my voice, can switch between the two quite easily. I think it's just the mindset that I'm in that needs to change, and the approach, musical approach, emotional approach, spiritual approach, and intention may vary because of what the music demands. It's been a process, particularly this year, doing a lot of different things. But that's what it's all about.
And that's also my last question. How singing with Idrîsî, how singing this early music shapes your whole approach to music, the way you think about it, you feel music, and how important it is for you right now for your artistic identity.
It's really just inspired and encouraged me to use singing as a spiritual practice, and that it's been a really deep and important journey for me to go on, my relationship with my own spirituality as well as the relationship with my voice. And so that now taking into these different rooms, and particularly when I sit at the piano to write my own music, it's massively inspired me in that way, because I've always had that sort of relationship to music, but I think this has just taken it to a whole new level. And I think also the patience of learning again and starting from scratch with something, and it's a whole different way of like music notation. So really going back to being a beginner is just like really healthy. I think every musician needs to sort of throw themselves into something new every now and then, no matter how many years you've been doing it. So it's greatly impacted my craft. Yeah, massively. I'm very grateful for it.
So I am wishing you all the best in your solo career, in your early music career, and for your career as a member of many, many bands, I hope.
Thank you.
Eliza Oakes was with me, Idrîsî Ensemble, Jordana Rakeia's band recently, and also solo artist. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you
I'm
so
really happy that
much.
we have managed to connect despite your really tight schedule.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful to chat, Michael. Thank you.